Thank you very much, guys. Grand final, here we are. Worked once, apparently it's going to work twice if FlashX can get this rolling again. Captain Koshka, this time with a different laner.
I much prefer Tempo Storm's way of dealing with it though, Jaws. You've got Lyra, right, Bulwark prevents the move in from Flash. You can see the From Hell's Heart come out, you can prop the Bright Bulwark, and I don't think you can get the Koshka easily on top of her target. I think Lost Voitov's likely to pick up a Crucible early here as well. And once you've seen it, you should be able to think about ways that you can deal with it as well. Do like the Cruel into the Duel though. Really, really like Cruel into Duel because again, one of those high damage targets that will really, really struggle against those weakness stacks. But again, TSM really seem to be onto something here. We are really going to wait to see them at level 6. Although, I think Koshka really functions a little bit like Grace. Can be early, aggressive in the jungle. And that functions so well with Cruel as well. They can sort of double up to be aggressive as a duo. Are you just still laughing because you hit me on the head?
Yes. Vonsi. Vonsi's going to have a relatively easy time in that regard as well. Caspi's going to get run down. And he's going to get bonked on the head. Speaking about getting bonked on the head, Lost Boy is just going to get chased out by Vonsi here. In fact, he just might go down. He does. No smite really needed from Vonsi, but he does it anyway. That's first blood to TSM already. Tempo Storm. He might be a little bit outmatched by TSM, but this is exactly what you don't want to let happen. Well, Hyde is going to go into best chuck, but can't really find any meaningful damage.
Vonsi's looking for a gank here. Hyde has to be careful. He's used that acro bounce.
He's used the acro bounce.
He's just dead.
Yeah,
he's just dead. Smite. Double weapon blade as well for Vonsi. Huge damage at this point in time. You know, very early on can have this kind of impact, and he's going to go straight to the backs of Tempo Storm. Toph's trying to do what he can, but I think Vonsi's going to be able to get this healing camp with ease with the smite. Might not be able to get the double camp as it's going to be a 2 versus 1, but FlashX is making his way over and he's going to run straight onto...
FlashX, Vonsi's there as well. He's going to jump on in. Lost Boy's going fairly low, popping that sigil down for HP, but it's not going to be enough. Vonsi just running him down. FlashX once again securing the 3rd kill, funnily enough, in the game. And now Hyde hasn't really got anywhere to run. He's just going to have to hope and pray that he's got enough regeneration and that a Lost Boy can make it to him in time. And now Vonsi, not really concerned with Hyde. He's just going to take away those back camps away from him. And now FlashX just running him down. Vonsi getting that speed up from his passive. He's just not letting Hyde go.
No, but Hyde should be able to sustain up here. But FlashX has got that big on-hit damage. Koshka's got really good base damages.
Oh my
and Hyde pops the potion.
He's going to kill him. Yeah, FlashX actually might just run him down here. Bouncy Fun straight on top of him. There comes the acro bounce for FlashX. Once again, 2 games in a row, he's found a solo kill.
1v1'd Hyde there. Even with Hyde's double crystal bit. Hyde will be able to go and get his backs on rotation here, as I think Vonsi will have to move through his own jungle, so he might have missed out on that rotation of backs, but he should be back in time to pick up the healing trail. It looks like he's heading directly to lane. Maybe they're saying, okay, we've lost jungle, the only way we get through this is by going straight to lane and putting pressure onto Best Chuck, because that seems to be what Lost Boy Toph's done now, as they've just given up trying to 2 versus 2 FlashX and Vonsi with this wonderful Koshka and Cruel combination that's been so good for them.
I mean, RIP solo queue is something that I can say for a lot of captains right now.
RIP solo queue.
A lot of laners and junglers. FlashX showing actually that Koshka, especially when she hits level 6, is effective, but apparently when she's level 3 as well, you can find that early aggression onto someone like Hyde, being able to take 2 kills in the early game, matching Vonsi, has 100% kill participation as well. They're almost 2,000 gold ahead of Tempo Storm right now.
And Fountain finished. Lost Boy Toph absolutely nowhere near to finishing his own. I mean, he's got 1,200 gold in the bank, so he should be able to turn that into...
Look at Vonsi. Vonsi just walking up to Hyde right now. The Bright Bulwark is going to snare them all up. That will make an easy exit for Hyde. Vonsi, unrelenting on this pressure, has already got Tension Bow.
Already got Tension Bow. That on-hit damage is pretty huge. Hyde trying to capitalize on the Necro Bounce, but doesn't land it onto the target that he would have wanted. Also have to remember, level 6 fast approaching for Vonsi here. Once he takes his rotation, should be able to pick that up. Gets a Swift Shooter. Again, attack speed so vital for this Cruel in the mid-game. And it looks like we're going to have a CP Idris, the Best Chuck. So they are going to have the mixed damage coming through this time. Makes Best Chuck a bit safer against this duel as well. He doesn't really want to get into melee range, wants to be playing from afar. He's working towards that, which will make him a big late game threat in his own right too.
FlashX has got a different idea about that.
Also, the double lockdown CC into a clear chakram hit from the CP Idris. That is just more and more damage that is going to rip through a single target. Goodness me, TSM.
Speaking about a single target, and there comes from Hell's Heart, lands straight on top of Gatsby. Turned his back away, instantly killed.
Yeah, blown up there. It's almost your immediate reaction. They're going to push onto this turret. Flash X taking a bit of damage.
Flash X, yeah, that turret shot almost cleaning him up there, but doesn't manage to escape with an inch of his life. Didn't even have Fountain as well, so could have popped that at the very last second, but, you know, stern.
Held on to it. I like that. I like a man that knows his limits. Flash X, one of those.
Boy, and limits of taking heroes into a captain role.
Hit me on the head with your bloody elbow.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. What? long arms, I guess. I don't know.
I headbutted your elbow.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back. We talked about this composition to death in the last game between C9 and TSM. You know, they showed exactly what they wanted to achieve with it. I like that the Lyra, you know, gonna have the bright bulwark. It is a way to shut down the engage from TSM. You can kind of capitalize if you see one form of engage come down, lock the bright bulwark in, and it makes it easier to kind of keep one of those targets safe. Also, I'm pretty certain Lostboytov is going towards a Crucible. Hasn't even got boots and has picked up an Oak Heart, so I can only assume that Crucible is going to be his next point of call.
It kind of has to be right now. Flash X level 5 is approaching the level 6 mark, and even from Hell's Heart is available from Von C. Maybe looking for an in here.
Flash X almost level 6, by the way, and he's about half a level, and doesn't look like neither Hyde nor Gatsby are considering.
Oh, there goes the From Hell's Heart straight onto Gatsby. He just gets deleted again. Jumped away, just absolutely annihilated in midair, mind you.
That damage from Best Chuck coming out on the Shatter Glass for his Chakram as well. You saw clear sights, single target burst because he gets locked down, and let's Gatsby prioritizing a reflex block. I'd like to see Hyde do the same, and then that obviously Crucible coming out for Lostboytov will be very, very good, trying to protect one of those targets. But again, Flash and Von C have already done enough work now. You know, they've already got the ball rolling. They pick up the gold mine because Tempo just cannot respond. TSM, I mean, we were expecting a 2-0 for TSM here. I mean, let's not beat around the bush.
Well, hang on a second. Von C is caught here. There's the Bangarang straight on top of him. But look at that regeneration. Gatsby's got his back turned to Flash X and Best Chuck now. And Von C's still chasing out Hyde. He just gets obliterated, smited away. That's actually 2 kills now picked up for TSM. Flash X secures the other one. There goes the Crystal Sentry as well. TSM, they're walking all over Tempo Storm right now. It's 8-0 at the 7-minute mark.
The healing on Cruel right now is just so good, even despite the fact he doesn't even have Poison Shiv, which he can finish pretty soon, mind you, so that'll probably be his next point of call after they get this turret. Hit the turret down, head to shop, get Poison Shiv, start to capitalize even further on these fights.
Big red button was used to maybe clear out a couple of those minions. There comes the Acro Bounce. It's going to find Best Chuck, but TSM just jumps straight on him. But Von C has finished that Poison Shiv. Look at him on this sidelines. From Hell's Heart available, Yummy Candy Frenzy available. He actually throws it, goes a little bit wide.
Boomerang!
Boomerang straight back. Yummy Candy Frenzy on lockdown as well on top of Hyde. Gatsby going fairly low. He's just going to get run down as well. TSM, I mean, they're all ridiculous at this point. They're 10-0. Von C, he's sitting at 7 kills. A kill a minute for him almost.
What an insane display here from TSM. Incredible display.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
it's such innovation from TSM as well. From the mind of Flash X, the guy that has really been one of the driving forces behind TSM's victories. You know, you talk about a lot about his influence in the draft phase. You talk a lot about his influence in play. They do have a great analyst, I believe. Lucky Bread's still working with them, but I mean, Flash X is one of those minds that has these kind of impacts, and for TSM to pull a Koshka out as a captain in a composition that has viability, in a composition that works, and not only works, a composition that dominates. It's just a spectacle.
Oh, Von C maybe looking for a little something extra here as well. Does jump on that Crystal Sentry to start off the fight. Best Chuck just laying down 3 damage. Crystal Sentry is going to fall. Gatsby just takes a Hell's Heart to the back and just falls down just from the base damage here. Now Lostboytov using that very short passageway to get a little bit of distance, but it's going to get cut down. It is prime, you could say. Hyde, he's going to monkey around. He's going to bounce around. But TSM, they're going to find the ace at 9 minutes, and they're just going to run it down this lane.
I'm wondering, Ozo was a side pick, wasn't he? So they blind picked an Ozo into TSM, which I find very odd because Ozo classically very good at dealing with ranged junglers like the Samuel, ranged junglers like the Kestrel who can stick to them. Ozo's really bad in this composition, to be honest, because he's bad against Cruel. bad against Koshka in some ways. And Best Chakane even then has the ability to escape a lot of the damage through his ultimate. Ozo's is basically doing nothing, as though the scorelines of pretty much everything from Tempo Storm reflect that. Haven't really kept up to the speed of TSM, and they've consistently applied pressure. Going to be a zoning ultimate coming out from Gatsby, but he has weapon power, so not a huge amount of damage coming out. But look at the item spike differences between these two. Eve of Harvest, first item for Hyde, by the way. Eve of Harvest, first item. Poison Shiv's going to shut down that item choice, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Vonsi, they're not even going to let the Crystal Sentry go to mine. In fact, it's just going to go down where it stands. Vonsi from Hell's Heart, land on Hyde, just miraculously there becomes the Yummy Cannon Frenzy as well. Gatsby tried to jump in, but he's just now running around this turret. Echo Pop from Flash X jumps in for another Yummy Cannon Frenzy. Vonsi is going to get healed up here from the fountain. Is it going to end up surviving? That's going to be one kill at least going over to Tempo Storm.
Perfect game.
Ruining the perfect game. TSM though, they find another couple of kills. There's again, look at thanks for the perfect game ruiner, but TSM still dominating Tempo Storm.
Been fantastic to watch. Just the innovation. I've heard in the third place game that we have a Captain Ozo as well. Captain Ozo and Gabe Bizzle. So this is just I think it's pushing the limits of VG, and that's what's the beauty of Vainglory. The beauty of Vainglory is that there are no limits to the way that you play your heroes. There are no limits to the way you formulate a composition. Everything is possible, and nothing is unachievable. And, you know, before this game, most people would have looked at a Captain Koshka and said, no.
It's going to feed.
It's going to feed. If someone locked this in your solo queue game, admittedly you do require a great amount of coordination to make this work, but you'd have had none of it, right? Before this game, most people have said this is not really viable. People now look at this and say, in a specific composition like this, it has great viability.
Yeah, with the right communication and right...
Exactly. And that is what beautiful about Vainglory.
Yeah.
Everything is viable. Everything. In the right way.
Yeah.
You know?
Captain Idris, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Wait and see though. Maybe Flash X will pull that out next week. It's always interesting to see what he does pull out from his sleeve. And now, just sheer control over the lane. And you spoke about power spikes, and I want to just give Tempo Storm a little bit of hope, maybe coming back into this game. Where can they go at this point? Because Gatsby, yes, he's got that Sorrow Blade, he's got the monocle, working towards a second monocle, but realistically, Vonsi is just going to run him down. And you can see Flash X actually going in here on Hyde. There's going to be a reflex block actually being popped here, so Vonsi kind of free at this point to maybe look for an opening with this from Hell's Heart.
I mean, they could look for an opening with anything.
They're going to boomerang it. It's going to land on a Lost Boy, but it's going to get blocked. But they're just going to jump on straight on Hyde. Fountain going to heal them all up. That turret was the target for TSM, and they do manage to take it down. Lost Boy, you know, he's getting annihilated in this front line.
Did they block literally everything? Because I think Flash X even echoed his ultimate there. They must have blocked literally everything. They blocked the From Hell's Heart, and the Flash X must have separated his targets with his ultimate onto both Gatsby and Hyde to block both of those. Wow. Great. That's what a Crucible can do.
Crucible works wonders when you pop it at the right time, and apparently Tempo Storm very good at that. We'll see if that does aid them in these later fights, although the gold lead is stretching towards that 10,000 mark, sitting at about 8,000 right now. Immense gold payout for TSM. That's their third gold miner taken away from Tempo Storm. Now, they're just maybe looking to kind of close this game out. They are 15-1 at this current moment in time. I mean, they've hit power spikes across the board, even Vonsi going for that breaking point as well.
Breaking point picked up is massive for him as well, because it gives him longevity in these fights also. Gatsby's going to try and clear the wave, but you know it's desperate when you're dual ulting the wave just to get some CS under your belt. Hyde working towards a broken myth, so looking for the heavy sustain build here. Gatsby's gone full out burst with the tornado trigger and the Tyrant's monocle. Not completely out of the water for Tempo, although I say that.
No, Vonsi is going to find Lost Boy top.
Rip.
Well, there you go. See you later. Smite away. Vonsi's now just going to run down Hyde as well. Yummy Cannon Frenzy onto Gatsby. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's a double kill. 4, the Idris.
JK. They drained the swamp.
Yeah, exactly that. It was like, oh, maybe they can come back into it, but I just think they are just too far behind right now.
You got to be positive.
Maybe more.
You got to be positive, I suppose. But yeah, I think this has been lost since about minute 3. It's genuinely felt the way that there's just a level of aggression, and when you get back to the draft for Tempo Storm, you're thinking, do I ban Koshka now? Do I even have to ban Cruel? I mean, these have been massive impact picks for TSM. 9-1-6, 5-0-10, 4-0-10.
4-0-12. He's
4-0, I can't read.
16 out of 18 at the moment. Kill participation. Now TSM, I'm going to start this Kraken. Vonsi's got a lot of damage, but maybe just baiting Tempo Storm out here. It will be their last fight, you can imagine. There's only 2 turrets standing between TSM and the first victory in this best of 3 right now. Oh boy. Hyde's still got a pizzazz in him. He's saying push to win, but they're going to jump straight onto Vonsi. Look at that health bar just going straight back up. 2 members down already. They just cut through them, cut them into pieces. Ace for TSM, and I think it's Scoundrel. That's going to be the end of the game.
They don't look like they want the Kraken anymore with only 2 turrets left to take down. Even if Tempo Storm respawn, they have shown that they are incapable of fighting TSM on a basis. Lost Boy Toft used none of his activatables there. That's one thing that could play into their advantage, but I think this is just going to go down too quickly. TSM take the first game of this series, and it wasn't even close.
16 minutes in, you're sitting at over a 10k gold lead. 13,000 in the lead for TSM. Tempo Storm, they got to change something up for game number 2 because
I'll tell you what, it's not Picozo.
It was a run over.
I don't think there's anything more I can say about this. TSM have shown that they have a wide gulf between them and the majority of North American teams, and this was just a demonstration of how far most of those teams need to go.
Well, we'll see if Tempo Storm can bounce back. Will they take it to game number 3? We'll have to wait and find out. But to break down that very, very short game is Munch and the rest of the guys on the desk.
TSM with 5 more kills than minutes in the game. Honestly, running away with things on that one. That close to a perfect game, and then Vonsi threw it for them. Amateur hour over here, but this team is ridiculous. Like, how do you even analyze that game? Like, if you're Tempo Storm going into the second game, what is going through your mind on, like, how to even remotely come back in this series?
I don't know. I mean, it's so difficult for a team in that situation to try and figure out what to do. I mean, you can't ban away a Koshka for fear of it being in the captain position. That's not a thing that happens in Vainglory. Like, it's so bizarre that TSM is picking this and able to win with it, and win with it decisively, no less.
And we're running the replays of this game in double speed just to represent the speed at which the hope left the hearts of the Tempo Storm players in this game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, over a kill a minute is just devastating. There's no way Tempo could have came back. And Cruel is just so tanky with the poison shiv, with his inherent lifesteal and his perk. He just can't be focused, and when they try to focus him, he just won't die, except, you know, when Vonsi does amateur hour, of course. But you can see, like, Koshka is the counter. Koshka counters Cruel early, and Koshka can run circles around him, take his farm, etc. And that's why they take the Koshka away and then put Cruel on that team. It just works so well. When Cruel gets level 6, they use the ultimate, they get the stuns in lane, they gank. Once he gets a slow on somebody in early game, he just shuts them down. He got 3 kills within like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, in all seriousness though, like, let's talk about the fact that TSM, this isn't just a matter of them picking what they want. Like, this is actually, they've figured out an incredibly aggressive early game composition that really, realistically, with whatever you pick, it's very difficult to deal with the sheer damage that's coming out, because Koshka's base damage is actually very high, even when you're not building CP. So this composition that they've figured out is, this is going to take some theory crafting for anyone to actually come back and figure out how to beat this.
It is, and I don't think it's something that's going to happen this week. It's not going to. There's only 1 game left for someone to figure it out. It's very likely not going to be the case. Assuming TSM even tries to run, I don't know if they try and do this on A side or what the case will be, but it's just, there's definitely going to be a lot of analysts putting in some extra hours during this week and the week off, so to speak, for a lot of them to try and figure out, if TSM looks to be doing this composition, how can they deal with it?
I was going to say, like, luckily for the rest of the Vainglory8 teams, there is a week off next week for them to have a bit of time to figure out how on earth you deal with this wanton aggression out of TSM. But let's start talking about this next draft. Now TSM will be on the A side. Is this something that they can continuously pick up, or are they going to change things up? Like, do you just try and build a normal composition around a Baron and just let Best Truck carry as usual?
Yeah, well, A side is a little more tricky. You pick a Cruel on A side, you're going to get counterpicked by a Sky. Also, Lance is a key opponent against this comp because he is a really good counter to Crow. So the fact that Lance is being banned or he's not in the meta anymore allows Crow to come back because everyone's playing healers. Grace is also good into that comp because Grace is actually good against melee. When Crow dives in, she can Holy Nova him. So there are some counters to that composition. You definitely need to get Koshka though because she's so strong in jungle. And then that will prevent a Crow pick.
All right, we do have a bit of a substitution coming on through here. God of Sins is going to be coming in. I'd assume Hyde is going to be in that jungle role and God of Sins is going to be on the carry, but I'm not 100% sure what order they're going to be in for this one. But importantly, a substitution is coming in.
Yeah, TSM will probably pick up Grace here or just first pick the Baron right off the bat because they're just so confident right now. But I think between the compositions, Grace, Baron, or Lyra make the most sense here from TSM's first pick. There we go. Baron gets first picked. Here, I would probably pick Grace. Yes, there we go. Grace. Ban away that Lyra, please. Lyra Baron is just way too strong to give TSM. You definitely need to ban away the Lyra and hopefully take Koshka or Grumpjaw. Ooh, come on, guys. Ban the Lyra. Okay, so they did not ban the Lyra.
All right.
TSM's going to ban the Grumpjaw.
Here's the thing. Now they pick the Lyra and they go with the Grumpjaw. If it gets through the bans, the ultimate double heal composition, Grumpjaw is going to be banned away. So my dreams are all
Yeah, like why are you banning Koshka? It's like it's your pick on A side. Like I mean B side. You can get it. Like this doesn't make any sense. Now they're gonna give Lyra over to TSM. This is GG. Draft's done. Just kidding.
Right.
We can go home.
Sweet
It's
and
over.
confident on this one. All right, Tempo Storm. They've got themselves a glaive though, alongside that Grace. So a lot of engage, a lot of pick potential on this squad right now. But TSM, that Lyra is available along with a Baron that's always going to be a strong composition.
Oh, Kath instead. Okay, Kath Batiste. Okay, this is a pretty solid combination from TSM because Kath Batiste can peel. Saw!
Our first Saw!
Okay,
Yes!
here we go.
First Saw ever.
And
First
this is
Saw in Vainglory 8 this season.
This is now every hero being played in the Vainglory 8 as well. So we've rounded out the entire hero pool. It's going to be Saw picked up for the likes of Tempo Storm. We have an interesting game on our hands. I'm curious to see how the Saw is going to manage and whether it can take on this this Baron in the lane and in, you know, Best Chuck NA's Baron no less. This is a formidable opponent to take a Saw into.
Yeah, Hyde can play a really good CP lane Saw. So I think they're going to lane the CP Saw.
Okay.
And they're going to play a weapon glaive in the jungle. God of Sins has a great glaive. He's known for his glaive. That's exactly why they brought him in. And this will be a very interesting matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they can do with this Saw, whether they can turn this into a victory. How are we feeling about the compositions then? What is the plan with the CP Saw? Because I know I haven't seen it. I know a lot of the viewers at home haven't seen a CP Saw at a competitive level.
So early on, it's going to be about trying to just put down the suppressing fire onto the Baron. His jump jets, before he gets a lot of weapon power, take a long time to actually get him out of that.
Okay.
And so it's just going to be about trying to get a ton of damage onto the Baron early, and then the big executes coming out from the
Rockets.
No.
Oh, his knife.
I was gonna say the name
Roadie
of
Run,
the
Roadie Run, yeah.
But I was like,
His-
it's been so long since I've called it Roadie Run because we always just call it the Shank.
We've got to get to the
His
game,
Mad
guys.
Cannon, Roadie Run does missing out there. You can't dive him, but Kath, Silence, and
All right.
Fearsome Shade is a dangerous combo.
Game's starting, so
Just
we've got to
saying.
get on with this one. Hashtag Vainglory8.
Just saying.
Let us know who you're supporting. TSM up against Tempo Storm. They've got a CP Saw. Let's see if it's going to work as we jump into Game 2 of our Grand Final.
CP Saw, but is it enough? TSM with such a dominating game number one. You got to think it might have hurt Tempo Storm's mental coming into this one. And Von C, he's back on the Batiste.
This is the Hyde special, by the way. Beshuk also got his Baron, so you know there has been a golden rule really of the. Wait a second, is that actually going to be Saw in lane? Is this Hyde just playing Saw in lane now?
This Hyde playing Saw in lane.
Playing double weapon power, maybe?
Might be. I mean, he's just well. Goddessins is going to be clearing out the jungle. We did have a small substitution there, obviously.
Obviously, he comes into the jungle, so Hyde comes into the lane. Hyde gets on Saw, something that he's kind of known for. He used to be kind of known for his CP Saw jungle. This could be Hyde on lane weapon power Saw, and we either see God of Sins go a tension bow aftershock build, or literally just a double weapon power build, which we have seen become more and more popular.
Lost Boy's in a lot of trouble here, actually. Goddessins is going to rotate down, but I mean, TSM, are they going to waste a lot of time actually just chasing after him? It looks like they are, actually. VAINGLORY has got bad mojo. He is level 2. Ordain is going to come out. The stun does come through as well. Lost Boy in a lot of trouble. That's fair plus to TSM already.
I mean, Lost Boy has been caught out quite frequently in these early games. I've been kind of disappointed with the way that Lost Boy has been positioning and sort of approaching the game. Been caught out far too often in the early game. Flash has been able to really capitalize on that with VAINGLORY. I'm just very interested to see where this game goes. Very interested. You don't often get to see Saw. The last time I saw Saw in a competitive match was the finals of VGL Summer Split 1, which was just this week. And Leon picked up, Leon's competitive team, the Calamity Reborn, picked up a Saw in lane and a double weapon power composition with a Lance on hit for Leon in the jungle. That was the last time I saw Saw in competitive, and before that I think it's been quite a while, so...
We'll see if it does work out. He's against Best Chuck Baron as well. Not an easy feat to come up against in lane. FlashX now. He got the early assist onto Lost Boy. Lost Boy fairly chunked out, but Goddessins is going to rotate now with VAINGLORY actually backing off. Same with Hyde actually. Now going to both return to base, pick up a couple of little ingredients for their first items. Like you mentioned before, it is going to be a crystal saw. So there's a lot of burst damage.
I thought it might have been a weapon power saw, but looks like he's going to go down the crystal route. Sells up the Book of Eulogies. Crystal saw is kind of more what Hyde is known for. So he would probably just went the Book of Eulogies and the Weapon Blade to survive that laning phase, make sure he could push in quite easily and frequently against Best Chuck. But he is known more so for his Crystal Saw. And it will mean God of Sins is playing a full weapon power glaive from the jungle, meaning that he can go towards a Sora Blade as first item.
Yeah, I mean, Sora Blade would make a lot of sense. Or even a Tension Bow. We're seeing a few Tension Bows as well from glaives. But we'll have to wait and see what he actually wants to build into fully. Now, Best Chuck is going to get pressured out by Hyde, you can imagine. Just the wave clear from Saw, kind of hard to deal with sometimes. Points. Goddessins, though, coming through. He's going to sit up in this top brush here. No answer from VAINGLORY. He secured that early first blood, didn't want to make a play up in the lane. Not just yet, anyway. It's just happily farming away.
I'm just looking to get Shattered Glass online, you feel, as quickly as possible. Toff caught out again.
Yeah, he's going to go down. Yeah, caught out again. TSM are going to secure themselves another kill. Best Chuck is going to secure it. That Flash X combo, Merciless Pursuit, straight into the Ordained, locks you up for days.
Dirty combo.
Yeah.
Especially before the likes of Crucible and Reflex block. It means if you do pick off one of those targets, and Saw is going to be such an easy target. But one of the benefits of Saw is that even if he tried when he was spun up, wouldn't be able to move quick enough to get out of the Ordained as Hyde here, taking a lot of damage from Best Chuck. Can't respond as easily because it is that crystal power source, and once the suppressing fire is down, doesn't really have much left in the bank apart from the Dank Shank, which is more of an executing blow than anything.
Just Best Chuck waiting in the brush, just waiting and waiting and waiting. Pops out, does all of his HP, and it forces Hyde to back now, which leaves TSM with a free lane for the moment.
So I actually really like Saw into Baptiste for the very reason that even if you tried to move out the Ordained, there's no way you're getting out of the Ordained because you're just so bloody slow. So, not that it's a great quality to have, but it does kind of play around it in an awkward sense.
Yeah, now we see TSM rotating down to this jungle shop. Now VAINGLORY has hit that critical power spike. Not only has he got the Shatter Glass, he's now actually got Fearsome Shade as well. Devastating combo. His Baptiste should be somewhat feared. Ordained does go down onto Hyde, does use the afterburn. Not the afterburn. The afterburn comes out from God of Sins. It's going to reposition Best Chuck. Nice Fearsome Shade onto two members of Tempo. No one going down just yet, though. God of Sins fairly low. Hyde did blow that reflex block to get out of the Ordained, which is going to be an extremely important cooldown for TSM to keep track of. God of Sins very low as well. Is actually just going to run into the Ordained. Heal does come through from Lost Boy, but a nice turnaround here. God of Sins comes up really big. Hyde picks himself up a kill as well. Flash X at least trying to make this a 1-for-2 trade. Is he going to be able to pick up the kill? I don't think he is. He might just get chased out here. TSM now giving up 2 kills.
Best Chuck jumped to his doom, though. He jumped straight on top of the Holy Nova and then essentially allowed him to be easily picked up. And again, you can't fight in choke points against the CP Saw. Can't fight in these corridors. Suijo always used to call them the corridors. You know, you don't fight Lance in them because it's easy for him to get Githian walls and really easy impales. Don't do the same against CP Saw. You can just put a suppressing fire across everybody if you group up in those scenarios with very little room to maneuver. Got to be careful, TSM. This is a special from Hyde. You need to give it the respect that it deserves.
Exactly that, and with Hyde hitting that level 6 as well, again, it's this time in the game where TSM really do come alive. With that blast tremor, it's going to be also important for FlashX to kind of land that, enable for them to get a safety engagement. And speaking of safety engagements, Lost Boy's office is going to get jumped on and deleted again. Best Chuck finds another kill. Lost Boy. Oh, I don't want to say tilted, but looking a little bit lost at the moment, in all honesty, just not finding the positioning. And he's only level 4. Coming up against level 7, level 5, level 5 on FlashX. Under-leveled, under-farmed, and really not with his head in the game.
No, Flash is nearly level 6 as well, so it's a massive, massive issue for him. God of Sins also, like, you know, you've seen before, not great into Batiste, because if you afterburn through an Ordained, you just get stunned up. Big suppressing fire coming out, looking for pressure onto FlashX, and won't be able to find it once he gets the Ordained.
Sins, hang on a second, does use the afterburn away. Fearsome Shade's actually just going to pick up the kill with just the base damage there. Lost Boy Toph going fairly low after a bad mojo is flung his way. TSM find a nice pick up of God of Sins. Did find some nice damage on TSM, but they just kind of ignored it. Iron Cannon's going to come down. That's a massive stun onto Hyde. Best Joke's going to focus that turret, though. One more basic attack will finish it off. First turret of the game will go over to TSM. Looking not quite as a rapid acceleration for TSM like in game number 1, but still, taking that first turret at 7 minutes is pretty big for them.
Yeah, and again, you saw the effect of the afterburn out of the Ordained for God of Sins. Just stunned up on the spot. Fearsome Shade did the damage necessary to take him out there. TSM accelerating their lead, slowly but surely. Pick up the first turret and the gold mine, and it gives them a big boon. Item Spike's getting hit now, working towards the clockwork for Von C, the second item spike for him. Best Chuck and A now almost 2.5 items into his build. FlashX has just rushed the Null Wave Gauntlet here. This really speaks to me that they want to just put pressure on consistently.
Did use it there on God of Sins, by the way. Just like, well, no.
Well, it's a good way to basically shut down someone's ability to get out of an Ordained, because you essentially stay silenced for the whole duration of an Ordained. So you silence the target and then put the Ordained, and if they block this item silence, you just Ordain them anyway. So it's a really, really nice way of locking up one of those single targets for TSM. Well,
Lost Boy Toph looking to build that Crucible to the answer for that. Does pop his own reflex block to get out of that Ordained. FlashX didn't find it the Merciless Pursuit hit. Now TSM, happy to just fight this one out in the lane. I mean, more so, really. Their combo is just so great, and you can see them trying to execute it here. Fearsome Shade onto 3 people. It tried to get blocked, but it didn't matter. Best Chuck, look at the damage coming out from him. That's going to be a nice fountain use there from Tempo Storm to keep him alive. Iron Cannon's going to come down. Lost Boy Toph just finds himself in the center of it, gets taken out. God of Sins has to use the afterburn more defensively now. And Best Chuck, he's on a spree. He's got 3 kills, and TSM looking to take this turret.
Don't know if you heard, guys, but you don't give Best Chuck his Baron. Not sure if anyone's ever made that clear.
Hang on a second, God of Sins make him another way back into this fight. FlashX is going to find himself going back to base, but trading 1-for-1 again. Who gets the kill? It's Best Chuck again. He's 4-1. And looking so devastating with his tension bow as well. Hyde just cannot find a way into these fights.
Yeah, like I said, don't know if I've ever made this clear. I don't know if the analyst desks have ever made this clear. I don't know if I've ever made this clear. I'm sure anybody casting TSM has ever made this clear. Best Chuck's a pretty darn good Baron. Probably don't give him that hero.
He's a pretty good Batiste as well.
Yeah,
Just the combination of those is quite devastating, but only 2 bans right now. They have released more, just released 4 bans, you know. 4 bans, you pick 3.
Well,
seems crazy, right?
Technically in this, 2 bans each, yeah, but...
Yeah, but 4 bans singularly just to ban out
just
all
to
of
ban out,
TSM.
just to ban out, yeah, you kind of need 4 bans, maybe even more to sort of get through TSM's expected compositions. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody from TSM has played something unique and interesting over the course of this split. You know, the Kosh captain speaks volumes. FlashX needs to be careful. He's kind of isolated, but not a key target for Tempo, you feel. He's got that Storm Shield, so should be able to survive these engages.
Yeah, you can see God of Sins lying in wake. Same with Lost Boy. Don't want to make anything too glamorous happen right now. Hyde's actually playing very far back. FlashX looking maybe to bait them, but we all know he was actually alone. Here comes the... Oh my goodness, that was a good stun. Fearsome Shade as well, coming through onto 2 members of Tempo Storm. Lost Boy gets himself caught out again. Null Wave was used to silence up the rest of the members. Blast Tremor to follow as well. And Chuck, he's going to take that turret at TSM. They're looking for another early victory.
And that is a really good way, by the way, to put pressure on a Saw. Suppressing fire locks him in place. Easy target for the Catherine to get a stun onto then. And Hyde... 102, admittedly, on his CP Saw. He's got the Broken Myth now. He will start to scale up in terms of his damage output. And this guy was known as the Wonder Boy of the CP Saw. We'll have to see whether he can make things happen. But TSM already massively in the lead right now. 5,000 gold, 5,500 gold. And this is a Baron who scales up so incredibly well. 3.5 items into his build path now for BestChuck. Pretty darn good.
Yeah, pretty darn good for TSM. Wonder Boy, what is the secret of your power? Apparently not right now is your CP Saw. That is not the secret source you're looking for at this moment. TSM, more than happy to deal with it, I think. CP Saw, like you said, very good at these tight-knit corridors, but, you know, TSM go, okay, that's fine, we're just going to fight you in the lane. It's very easy for Vonsi to actually get on the back line, and with BestChuck so fed, Flashback's actually looking for engagement here. Fearsome Shade does actually go to fight one. 2 rockets. He was more than gone as soon as BestChuck just leapt towards him. FlashX finding another stun onto Lost Boy Toff. BestChuck not going to follow it up though. FlashX just fighting away 2 members of Tempo Storm.
Just got to the point in the game now where BestChuck can basically 2-shot people.
He's got crit. He's got everything he needs, really. Has a lot of weapon power.
He's got a lot of
blades.
stuff.
He's got a lot of items. That's exactly what Hyde doesn't have. Only 2 completed items on him. And CP Snore's not about that overall straight burst damage that this Baron can provide, and that BestChuck is providing here. Got a Sin, maybe looking for a little hero play here. Doesn't actually manage to secure it away. Does actually sacrifice his own life. Fearsome Shade onto 2 people of Tempo Storm. Lost Boy popping those boots, and Hyde even trying to escape. But Flash X is going to chase him down. Nice divine intervention to heal up. Nice
It doesn't matter
damage.
when you deal 700 damage a hit on this Baron.
400 damage negated completely. 700 damage is going to meet Lost Boy as well. TSM find the ace. This is looking all too familiar of game number 1.
This has just been TSM against every team other than C9, and even against mostly C9 this split. They have looked indomitable, and they're looking like they want to push down into this base at 13 minutes. Death timers are still too short for them to get a decisive victory, but BestChuck's at 3,000 gold, Von C is at 3,000 gold, Flash X is at 2,000 gold. They are going to go to shop, they are going to invest, and they are going to crush.
Exactly their agenda right now. No, Flash X has been caught out, but way too tanky, especially with that Storm Shield available. Yeah, the rotation here.
You've got 1.5 items for God of Sins as well. He's not even finished his Poison Shiv. He's not even close to finishing his Poison Shiv.
It's not a good day.
30 CS advantage for Von C, who's got a Broken Mythic Clockwork and a Shatterglass. God has of Sins. I mean...
There's no God in this game.
Exactly. He has been crushed. At least Hyde is working towards his 3rd item now, but I think this is just too far gone for Tempo Storm at this point. TSM are easily the best North American team, potentially one of the best teams in the world right now as well. I can't wait to see them match up against some of the East Asian teams that really had their number at the last World Championships. TSM looked like they have trained and battled hard to prove to both themselves, the world, North America, that they can be the best. They can overcome the obstacles that they faced last year to become the quintessential Vainglory team.
Lost Boy, that's not where you want to be, buddy. That's going to be a nice... Oh my goodness, Hyde that damage. Yep, Hyde did absolutely nothing. That's actually a 2-piece for Von C. TSM just running them down. They're going to just completely ignore God of Sins. That's an ordained block. I'm not sure it's going to matter. BestChuck just chunking these turrets. There goes one. I mean, can any of the East Asian teams even face up against them? I want to see the Rocks Armadas fight versus TSM again, because TSM looking like a brand new revitalized team, and they're coming back in it to win it. They've had enough of Cloud9 winning the Unified Championships. They are the best team in North America, and they want to stick that title up on their wall again.
I don't think anyone will question TSM at this point in time. Back to back to back to back to back winners of the VG8 in North America.